Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Jay Klassen, your realtor here for the Ottawa area. And behind me today we have Watson Mill. It is the centerpiece for the little village of Manotick, Ontario, which is a suburb of the Ottawa area. It's only about 30 minutes from downtown. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the areas of Manotick that you might want to live. All right, stay tuned and follow with me. In my car and we're going to go for a tour of the Manotick area. The Manotick area is spread out among about a 10-kilometer radius. The center of Manotick comprises of the Old World Village. It's over 100 years old and there's a main street lined with a bunch of old buildings that are part of the historical society, which helps maintain the look and old world feel, among other big box stores that are nestled in behind some of the main shopping strip. What I just showed you is also the Watson Mill. It was built in 1860 and was served as a seed grinding facility. Within Manotick, there are a number of different neighborhoods. We have everything from the core village, which is right behind me, which is all the shops and restaurants. Then you have what we call the North Island and the South Island, which is divided by Bridge Street, and I'll show you those. As well, we have Manotick Estates, which is homes anywhere from your 1 to 2 million, even a little bit above on estate type properties. When you get a little bit further out of town, you can follow along the Rideau River. The Rideau River is the historic river that runs all the way from Lake Ontario to downtown Ottawa through the canal and lock system. And we're fortunate enough to have it right here in Manotick running right through us. Which is great for all kinds of summer activities like boating, whatever it might be, anything water related. Once you go down, follow the river a little bit further, there are little communities nestled along the river, mainly the golf course at the other end. There's also some very high-end areas called Rideau Forest, which properties range from the low of 1 million up to $5, $6, $7, $8 million in that area. And now we're going to go for a little bit of a tour, and I'll show you all there is to see in the Manotick area. And starting off with the Manotick Village, there is no shortage of amenities and places to eat in this village. We have everything from bistros to cafes to Italian restaurants. You name it, we have it. You won't go hungry in this town, and the great thing is it is walking distance from a lot of the surrounding neighborhoods. Here we have Italian, we have cafes, we have places to take out snacks, more coffee. And the great thing is you can get your hair done. We have spas, we have barber shops, and you can even get your dog done too. Here's the florist. No shortness of fitness facilities. We have a number of them in town. Need your prescription filled? Well, we can do that too at one of our many pharmacies in the area. As well, we have big box, we have groceries, we have hardware stores, and of course, beer stores and liquor stores. Manotick truly is a one-stop shop for pretty much everything you need. We even have a public library. We have 2 retirement homes right in the village. High school, public schools. We have an arena. We have tennis courts. We have outdoor rinks. You name it, we have it here in Manotick. Take advantage of one of the many parks for the kids. We have a dog park just on the outside of the city that is fantastic. I go there all the time. The other thing I love about Manotick, it is surrounded by water. And plenty of it. Everywhere you look, there is water, 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 water. You can buy homes on the water. You can boat on the water. You can swim in the water. You can paddle boat on the water. Everywhere you go. And right here, you can launch your boat into the water. As I mentioned, this is part of the Rideau system that goes all the way up from Kingston, Ontario to Ottawa, and there's a lot of history. In here is Mahogany Bay, where the kids and the boats like to hang out in the summer. We have falls. We have surrounding nature trails. Here's part of the lock system on the canal system leading up to downtown Ottawa. It truly is a sight to see. Manotick really does have it all. You can't really get any better than this as far as I'm concerned in the vicinity of Ottawa. All right, so you might be asking yourself, where is this utopia that you speak of? Well, let me show you. I'm going to go over here to a quick search here in Google Earth. Quickly click on Manotick and it's going to fly you over to Eastern Ontario. And here we are within the red lines, the boundaries of Manotick. and you'll see the historic Rideau River following this line. This is north, this is south. So where we started today was at the Watson Mill. And as I mentioned, we've got areas divided by Bridge Street right here in the middle. So we have North Island and we have South Island, if that makes sense. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit closer. I know what I'm looking at, maybe you don't. So North Island, South Island, all separated by water. Over here to the left, we have the village core, which you see in the beige. So everything is centered around this. This is where all your cafes and restaurants and everything is that I just showed you, and this is the main road that goes through it. We also have Manotick Estates here to the left, and as you go south, all the way down here to the bottom, we have Carlton Golf and Yacht, and you can actually see the golf course in here. So if you're a golfer, this is where you might want to plug yourself. Now, if we go a little bit ahead here, and if you look under my mouse, this is where the mega mansions are in the area called Rideau Forest. And everything else around here is Farmers Field. Basically, Manotick is the last stop before you start hitting Ottawa and all the residential areas. If you're coming north from the 401 highway, up from Toronto or up from the States, you'll hit Manotick right before you hit the city, and we do have an exit right off the main highway 416 right here, which is fantastic. It's just minutes away, and that gives you access to the main artery through Ottawa, the 417. I'll zoom out here. You also notice the Ottawa International Airport, which is about a 15-20 minute drive from the village, not very far at all. And here's Ottawa, separated with the Ottawa River and Gatineau, Quebec on the other side. Here's the downtown core. Here's some of our sub-cities, Nepean, Canada, Stittsville, Gloucester, Manotick is one of those, but we're all considered the Ottawa-Carleton area. What else can I tell you about this? This is about a 25-minute drive to downtown. In the bad weather, perhaps it could be a little bit longer. And that's really it, and all you need to know about this area. It's perfectly located as far as I'm concerned, because you can travel around the city to get to the other areas rather than having to travel through the city. And that's about it. Now we are going to go on a driving tour of all the different areas. Starting in the immediate vicinity of the Manotick Village, just minutes walk to these homes, is the original residential area surrounding the village. This is leading up to Manotick Estates, and in this area you're going to have homes that were built around the 60s and 70s all the way up to the 80s. This would be referenced as more like the Beaverwood area. Moving on from there on to the next phase are homes that were built starting around the 80s and are actually still going today in some selected areas. A lot of these homes are much bigger than the first phase, as you can see. These ones here are probably circa mid 90s to early 2000s, and then it only starts going up from there. What people really like is the proximity to the village from this area. Again, only minutes walk, and it's much more mature than some of the other parts that are more newly developed. And as you'll see in the videos coming up, that it starts to get a little bit less dense with landscaping. You'll see these are newer lots. These homes are probably made within the last year to 10 years in this part of Manotick Estates. It's still a beautiful area. There just needs to have some growing happening. And then we are getting up into the last couple of years with the super modern look. Again, the lawns were just put in, the landscaping just put in, but the look of the homes are completely different and much larger than they were. And these are ranging anywhere from low to $1 million up to about $3 million in this area of Manotick Estates. But not to fret if your budget is under $3 million and you really want to live in Manotick. There is what's called the Village Walk community, in which there are townhomes for under $1 million, as well as semi-detached bungalows such as this, which are popular among the seniors in the area. And the great thing is, it's only minutes walk to the village. Now hopping over to the east side of the village, we have the North and South Island, as I showed you on the map before. The North Island is a little bit older. We see homes in the 50s and 60s, all the way up to infills and modern rebuilds today. If you want to get a single home in the area for under $1 million, this would be the place to be. Often there can be good houses to be found that might need a little bit of fixing up, some refurbishing, but I've seen homes in here running from $600,000 to $800,000, $900,000. They're a really good option. Here what we're looking at is the South Island. They are a little newer. They are 80s and up. This island is completely surrounded by water on both east and west sides, with homes in the middle. There's some beautiful waterfront properties to be found on the island, and just truly beautiful streetscapes. I really like this area. Price points, again, can be anywhere from just under $1 million to, depending if you're on the water, some of these homes you're looking at right now, you're looking at $1.5 to $2.5, $3 million. Truly is a gorgeous area of Manotick if you're looking to have a nice family home, as well as a walking distance to the village from most of these parts. Next up on the list is Carlton Golf and Yacht Club. Now this area is where you want to be if you are a golfer. And in fact, that home right there, that brown house, is the house I was born into quite some time ago. Now you'll notice the houses are reminiscent of those on the North Island. They are starting around the 50s and 60s era, and the golf course runs through the neighborhood. And here's the clubhouse. Beautiful little building, been there for a number of events. And here is one of the putting greens with the Rideau River in the background. And this area is no exception. It is surrounded by water like all others in Manotick. Price points start here under $1 million and can run up a couple $1 million depending on the age and the location. Of course, backing onto the river is always going to be more. It is a fair ways from the village. It's not walking distance, barely cycling distance, unless you're a cyclist, of course, but you're looking at about a 10-minute drive, so just something to be aware of if you are from out of town, that you look at this on the map, and if you're trying to take advantage of those village amenities and walking distance of such things, this will be a little bit isolating for you. However, nonetheless, it is a gorgeous area, and highly recommend you take a look at this area. So by now you've noticed most of the homes around the Manotick area are older, on bigger lots, and much more mature, but we do actually have a new home option in this suburban area called Mahogany. It's just minutes outside the village. It's actually walking distance to the village itself, which is fantastic, as well as the water amenities. Major developer came in here a couple of years ago and started putting in these new homes. So if you don't want to go through buying a big lot, having it serviced, and building a custom home on it, then this option is for you. They are obviously quite large homes still, with that super modern look on most of them, but the nice thing is I believe you can still get the option to make it much of your own. And last, on the immediate vicinity of Manotick, is the area called Rideau Forest. Now these are your mega mansions that I was mentioning earlier. These guys are going for obviously multi-millions of dollars, anywhere $5 million and up. Look at the size of these things. Yeah, what more can I say about these? They're absolutely huge, but if this is what you're looking for, this is the area in which you're going to find them, and there's still tons of new construction happening in there. Well, that completes the tour for today. I really hope that gave you a better idea of what Manotick has to offer and what the surrounding areas have to offer as far as living. I mentioned the mega mansions all the way down to townhouses within walking distance of the village. I chose Manotick myself for a variety of reasons, and the number one was lifestyle. It's been a few years now, and I wouldn't turn back. It is the best place to live in this city as far as I'm concerned. I am an Ottawa native, although I can't speak for living in some of the other areas. All I do know is I really do enjoy this area for everything it has to offer, from that village feel to the community around here and the river running through it. I fully take advantage of that in the summer and the winter in many ways. All right, well, I really hope you got a lot out of this today. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe, like, follow, and Thank you for tuning in today.